And I think we're live, kids. Hello, it's the caboose of the sub block, the peach, as it were.
Mm.
Spotlights.
Oh, we're the Georgia peach
And I think
of
we're
this.
live, kids. We talk. Hello, it's the Shut up, James. Shut up, James. Yes, the Georgia peach. We are here talking about James Spring Spotlight, the week that was in Port Charles, ending in 5/3/24. All those kids. We'll talk about that in a sec. We here, Frank, of course. Frank's here. Hi, Frank.
Hey, everybody.
We are here, and as you know, earlier, Amanda Russ was sick. She had a huge migraine and couldn't make it. So me and Tammy Govea did Wyatt R and Bold and got those out. And so they're out there, audio and video. They are out there for your listening and viewing pleasure. Tell all your friends. After this, if you are a Days of Our Lives fan, Edition Days is doing, I think it's like their 6th or 7th year. They're doing Edition Days Awards. So today's the last day to vote. So if you're a Days of Our Lives fan, go over there and vote. Go to editiondays.com or any of their social medias. They'll take you to a link. So today's the last day to vote for your Days of Our Lives favorites. And then they'll tell you when they'll be announcing the awards. But they'll be on today too by Chocolate Twin Tony Moore and his gang at 3 o'clock over on Edition Days. Tell them Frank sent you.
That's right. Vote early, vote often, everybody.
Yes, you can vote many times. You can. That is one thing he said. You can vote many times. So those are all out. Check out my interview with Eric Braden, Mr. Victor Newman. It came out yesterday, so check that out. It's on Daytime Emmy Specials. Also, I interviewed Amanda Wong from When Calls the Heart. The new episode comes out tonight, but that's out also. That came out on Friday. That's out also. We talk Hallmark Channel and all kinds of things. It's also AAPI month, Asian American Pacific Islander month. We talk about that also, so check that out. I have more interviews coming. I have Wally Kurth this week, our buddy Wally.
Nice.
Nominated for Days of Our Lives. So we're going
Hmm.
to talk about the duo role and why he got nominated for Days of Our Lives, not General Hospital. So that's later this week, so stay tuned for that. And much, much more coming in that direction here on JLJ Media.
Yeah,
Also,
that's a
Sean,
bummer.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a bummer because he had some really, I mean, the Eddie Main stuff.
I know. But but he had really some heavy stuff because John Aniston died in real life.
Hmm.
That was his uncle, Victor Kiriakis. I like saying it that way. There were some really delicious scenes for I almost said Justin. That's his character's name is Justin, for Wally to play. So that's probably what the difference was. But again, embarrassment of riches, both shows, right? Doing 2 shows. Also, Sean Kanan, my buddy, I talked to you the other day, who's killing it on Bold and Beautiful right now. Yes, Sheila's alive. But the poster is out. Cobra Kai season 6, the final season. Mike Barnes is back.
Oh,
Yes, and everybody wanted to know. I'm allowed to announce it. He is back. It comes back in July on Netflix. He's in season 5. We just didn't know that. He's in season 5. But he's returning season 6. He's in the poster, not the trailer. He's in the poster. And he will be on the show. I don't know which episodes. I don't know all that stuff. I just know my buddy's in it. So if you're a Cobra Kai fan or a Sean Kanan fan, check that out, Frank.
oh man, that's very cool. That show is, as we've talked off mic about the show. It's like, yeah, that show has done a really good job of written by fans for fans.
Yes. It's done very well. And so he's doing very well on it. They wisely put him on. Will Hilary Swank be on it? I have no idea. She's the only one left of that movie franchise that's not been on yet. So there's been lots of
And now I'm very curious to see how the new Karate Kid movie does,
stuff.
where it's combining Ralph Macchio and then the Jackie Chan version.
Yes. So folks have also asked me, will Jackie Chan's character come on to? I have no idea. No idea. I have no idea. So we don't know. So I don't know. All I know is that Sean Kanan's on there, and he has a new book coming out around the same time. Stay tuned for his stuff. You never know. You know how I relate to that somehow too.
I don't know. I mean, I suppose if you wanted to tease that movie, having him show up at the very end or as like a little after credits thing in the last episode to kind of like set up the movie could be good.
Or if they're doing it, it's also going to be released in parts. So it's 3 parts. But we don't know how it's divided. But it's gonna be
Uh,
1 part, two a break, 2 parts, second part break, and then we don't know yet how it's gonna be released.
so that could even be better.
But they're
Oh,
gonna milk it. They're gonna milk it until yeah, milk it. It's a huge hit for Netflix. It was a huge hit for Netflix. So, but anyway, so I'm allowed to announce that yes, Sean Kanan is amazing. He is. He's a good friend to me also. So I want to make sure mention that he is out there, and we'll be doing that. And also there'll be some announcements about Studio City soon. Which
some DJ's coming back.
so there's some stuff going on. So just there's stuff that's going on out there. Stuff going on. And of course, X Men '97 doing very well. We spent that off camera, doing very well in the critic sphere. People are just loving it to pieces. I know some of you guys watch it in the chat, so I know Frank has a job. Frank has a job right now, but no, but we're glad to see that that's going on too. So that's good. So sometimes bringing back, rebooting things, bringing back all kinds of it works sometimes. So
That's true. We have just started off our 3-part finale, so two more episodes left.
yeah, kids, look at that. So yeah, so that's good. So that's all. I think it's all the announcements I have. Oh, we're not here next week because it's my birthday.
Woo!
I turn, as my aunt says, double nickels. I turn 55, Frank.
Uh, sexy five. No, that's wrong decade for that. But
Yes. I know what you mean, though. Yes,
Foxy five, Foxy
Foxy
five.
5. I like that. Foxy. I actually like that, actually. So I'll be celebrating my birthday next weekend and Mother's Day. So I will be busy doing that. So we will not be here. But we'll be back the following weekend. We'll be back. Like it's the 19th. We'll be back for that. But yes, James is going to be eating his way through the weekend.
Woo!
That's all I'm doing. I'm not going nowhere. Just eating. We love when folks are working. I love that. Yes.
Who will you be eating?
Who am I? Which starts with Flobo. Just kidding.
Ooh,
Um, there you go, kids. But yeah, thank you, everybody. So yeah, so we're everybody saying hi to Frank, and we'll get to his emails at the end of the day. As usual, I will not forget. But yeah, so that's all the goodness I had to tell you guys. I think it's everything. So that's the thing there. I want to start, Frank. There's two things. There's 3 storylines that I'm actually interested in.
Oh, all right.
I know, and the rest are like whatever. But again, I am keeping open arms like my chocolate twin Tony Moore does. Open arms, see what happens. I'm gonna start with the Quartermaine mansion. I actually enjoyed it being full the other day. For some reason, yeah, we'll get to the storylines, but I enjoyed seeing every use of that set was used that day. There were kids running around, and we had a whole tutorial in the front, and people in the kitchen, and people out the back. I loved it. It reminded me of the old days, kind of when they used to always have the Quartermaines there running around. I just loved it, Frank. I don't know, I loved it.
I enjoyed it. Again, I think I will treat it like we treat other characters on the show in terms of seriousness about how committed they are to something, is if we do see a kitchen set actually made for the Quartermaine mansion. To go like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, we're really gonna invest in this idea that Sasha's in there. And so now this is another yet one more place that people can come in and we can do scenes.
I guess that isn't the kitchen. They're in like a breakfast nook or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Uh, so I mean, and there's not to be said that we could not have a kitchen, like a kitchen scene may not be necessary. Maybe you could. It's always just Sasha, coming out with her tray, always to sit down right there over the breakfast nook for everybody to enjoy. Maybe it's just that.
Um, we'll get to that. We'll get that. I promise I'll get that in a second. The Sasha thing, but I was thinking you're right. I guess that the kitchen's off. He walked over to the kitchen. Her and Aiden walked to the kitchen. Okay, yeah. So that's a separate room. So yeah, I'm curious. We'll get one. For the stables, everything was busy. There were people just running around everywhere. I just loved it.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to see more focus over on the Quartermaine mansion and the cues, and there's definitely a lot of I mean, it's definitely like the next generation where it is just it's gotten the net's got a little bit wider. We've got, people that are not necessarily, if from the outside looking in, you would think like, oh yeah, they're Quartermaines. I mean, you throw in a lot of different disparate personality types in there. Like, just having Olivia, a lot different than like any, prototypical kind of Quartermaine you would think from the past. So yeah, it's a nice kind of, mix and blend as it's coming into, as we're in the 2020s now.
And having, and again, Tracy, Jane Elliott is the national treasure, I think. And then they've been really using her, in my feeling, correctly. They've been giving her some good material. And they've been at where she's still Tracy on some level. But as you get older, you mellow out and stuff. You start to see things a little differently. And I think between her and Brooklyn and her and Gregory, she's starting to see things a little differently. The whole Luke talk, all of a sudden with Gregory, them sitting outside in the back, with kids running by. I just love that whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, because you can sell Tracy be like, oh yeah, yet another child that belongs to belongs to nobody in this house, but it's just
I
here.
know, I know.
Yeah,
That was hilarious. She was so annoyed by all of them
yeah,
because it's spring break. They're all out, and to me, I know what that feels like. We all some of us have kids. You know what it feels like. But she was just annoyed. But I loved it. I saw it and just you know, we were taking a break outside, her talking about Luke, and I was like, "You would like you." I think I would like him. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I was laughing. I was kind of like, I don't know. But it was very cool. I just thought
uh,
it was very cool.
yeah. I don't know. Um, I think a Gregory Luke relationship would have been very similar. Started off probably similarly to a Tracy Gregory relationship, where it's a little, a lot of friction at first, but then they both see parts of each other that they would like, and I could see, I'd be curious to see what Luke's nickname would have been for
Oh,
Greg.
funny, right? Oh, funny. I mean, I wonder what his would have been too. Luther wants to know how long you've been watching GH Frank.
How long have been? Gosh, since I mean, I watch it when I'd go see my grandma down in Florida, so it would be probably mid '80s. I was a
Okay,
kid. It
so
was always like,
almost longer,
3 o'clock down in Miami. I had to, everything stopped because grandma had to watch GH.
yes, almost as long as I have. So we're talking over 40 years, folks. Luther. By the way, so yes, I think they're trying to poise that Tracy is basically going to be the matriarch of the family. I think not because for a while it was Olivia that were trying to do that too, but now that Jane Elliott's back, and I guess she's back.
Which, please, yes,
Yes,
for whatever kind of challenges, yeah, that she is self-imposing on herself. Hopefully she's, kind of overcome those and
yeah,
so that, yeah, I can still contribute in a major way to the show.
yes. I love her ponytail. I love a little braid. I love all this. I love all this stuff. I love her. I just think she's just lightens every. She just brightens up every scene. Um, and I actually and see, folks, this new regime that's the head writer stuff. What I'm liking is, I know it's jarring for a lot of people, but they're trying to right some wrongs. It seems like they're trying to place people in different situations, and they're not taking 5 years to do it. So I'm kind of glad. It may be jarring at first, but I'm going to see how this plays out. So I say that as prefacing Frank to Sasha.
Hmm.
I feel weird about this Sasha becoming a cook. We never heard anything before, and Granny and all that. We talked about that last week. But I'm like, okay, she's in the kitchen. Her and Cody are close by now, so that's like, but they're like staff for the Quartermaines. Like, I just, she was like a high fashion mom. I have this weird. It feels like she's going backwards or something. I don't know. It just feels, I'm feeling weird about it, but I'm gonna ride this out. But I'm just like, I'm feeling weird about it for some reason.
I mean, it is a very odd transition for sure. I mean, it definitely feels like you're seeing the hands of the writers, coming in this and be like, yeah, we're moving you over here now. And it's gonna seem weird and awkward. And there's really Really no graceful way of making this transition, but we're making it. Uh, so for me, I mean, I'm just curious what, and we've talked about this before. I mean, Sasha's been through so much, but is the show now still invested in Sasha at all?
No,
And,
no, yeah, right.
uh, a job like this seem on the surface would seem no, but she's also being put in an orbit with a lot of other characters as
Yeah,
well.
yes. Seeing Sasha with Aiden, seeing her talking to Tracy, seeing her, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And her and Michael, even though they used to date, and they're fine. There's nothing going on there. Her and Willow are best friends. I mean, they could be close. I mean, like and it's another thing. Willow, they're taking her out of nursing apparently.
Which I don't feel like we were already struggling when that whole thing was starting anyway. Going like okay, so I don't feel like any big loss about that now. But it's definitely like, yep, hey guys, the new writing has a different idea of what they could do with these characters in different situations. So we're going to be moving jobs. People are moving jobs on this, and
They
and
are.
just get ready. So yeah, maybe maybe this is better. I mean, we so rarely use, if you're thinking the nurses, I mean, you're thinking Elizabeth primarily.
Yes.
Uh, and then I guess,
Amy.
yeah, Amy, and then you've got a couple of the other ones that will
Right.
pop up every so often. I mean, Willow as a nurse, I think at best served her purpose for the Jason Return storyline to be able to do that little bit where she's smuggling drugs out of there and helping him. But after that, I don't know. I mean, what else? Maybe I would probably rather see something that might generate a more interesting story, which is of her doing some kind of spokesperson work of charity, especially if it's tied into stuff like that. I don't know. It gets her more tied in with Drew and the business side of stuff. And I suppose puts her more in orbit with possibly Nina than being at the hospital, which I guess you're
Well,
looking to try to get stuff going.
I mean, apparently, Drew and Nina are enjoying each other so much that Willow's like, maybe I wasn't it should be so hard on you. Maybe I should be okay.
Yeah, uh, I don't know. I mean, I guess this is Nina's getting Nina, the character Nina continues to just bug me. The way she is just written just drives me crazy sometimes. But
But
she's her own worst enemy in these
she is.
situations.
She is. But they're having to go full steam ahead though. Like she's just like her and Drew had sex several times.
Yeah,
And they're working together and this whole thing. But we'll get to that a little later. But I just back to Will, but back at the Quartermaine house thing. So we got Willow and them feeling like she wants to change her life, do something too. We'll mention Josh too later because we got to mention the outsides. We'll get there. We'll get there later. Um, I have no investment in Willow either. So I actually have an investment in Sasha. I actually like Sasha, the character and the actress. I'm a huge fan of them. So I'm a fan of that. So I am invested to see where Sasha goes. So like Frank just said, we'll see if we get a set. We'll see. Oh, hi, cat lady. We'll see if we get a set. We'll see if they actually if this Paul parlays into like a pickle Lila situation. She discovers something and makes a business out of it. Right, Frank? It could happen, right?
that's true. Yeah. Oh, you should be bottling this sauce.
There you go. See, like Sunny sauce.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
So yeah, right. That could happen.
food is always, if you watch any Food Network shows, it's all about, you want to be able to tell, story, you're sharing a part of yourself. So, making something off the fly that was able to elicit a great response from Tracy about like that with their conversation with Gregory, where they're talking about how her and Luke would go, and have a slice of that, uh, whatever the fancy name for that, leftovers bread
Oh
that
yeah.
that Sasha made. But just seeing, I mean, what was great is that they set up and they solve potential conflict in one episode, which I love. I don't need to milk it for like a whole week about like, oh my God, is Tracy gonna really like
All right.
Sasha or not as a cook for the show? But she whips together one thing that is able to make Tracy remember uh how great of a great time that she had with Luke and this delicious bread that she had back with them. And that was great. and then and problem solved. Sasha's proven sufficiently enough to Tracy that she can cook the kind of stuff that Tracy would like to eat.
The pacing is faster. I love it.
Yes. Yeah.
Some of the scenes are longer also, which I like, but they're faster. They're like I feel like they're moving along. And folks, they have to kind of, in some instances, take their time with other storylines, and they're trying to work it out. It's going to be awkward. Like Frank says, it'll be awkward for a minute. Well, I say a minute, but longer than a minute. Pacing is great now. No, the pacing is. I mean, Frank and I, if you want to do a drinking game for the last 2-3 years from us talking, it was the pacing is bad. The pacing is bad. The pacing is bad. Like at least I'm not saying that right now. It's like they are going, okay, you this now, you that now, got it. You two together, got it. You two aren't together anymore, got it. I mean, Nina signed those papers away. She's done. She's not married to Sonny anymore. And now, we'll get that in a second. We'll get that. So, I said this story. Okay, we'll get there in a second. But back to the house. Like some of those kids don't bother me. Georgie doesn't bother me. Leo doesn't bother me. Wally doesn't bother me. They don't bother me. So it's kind of good to see them mixed in. No major storyline, just kind of funny stuff that they were doing. But then, like you said, the next generation, kind of laying out the next generation. Them tying up Cody and playing with it was kind of funny. I mean, it's just like there's a house full of folks.
Yeah.
Folks almost got upset. I go, well, I liked it because then again, the grown-ups were in the front room doing the whole, which they actually were furthering story by this deception thing. And were you as surprised as I was that in the end, Lois?
Uh, it was great. I mean, I felt like you can't welcome thing like we had talked about last week where it's like, yes, it feels like Lois has got some kind of hook into deception, and hopefully the show takes advantage of it, and they did, which is really great. So
You said that last week, and I was like, Frank made it happen.
oh yeah, that's true. Yep, there we go.
You said it. I mean, last week you did say it last week, so I'm like, you said it, and I was like, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, they're making low. I'm like, where did I go? Oh, Frank. That's where it came. Frank Moran.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sure, there you go. I'll be looking for my writing credit
Yeah, exactly.
on GH
But
guys.
you did say it last week. It was weird. You said you hope exactly what you said. You said you hope they made it, and they literally did it. So now we
Yeah,
got to see what happens further along, like when they show it. But Laura, first of all, Rita Sulfur is beautiful, so I'll take it. And they begin to chatter like, yeah, logical choice for Lois. I said Locust. Patrick Mulcahy is from the old school. He is. So that's the whole thing. And it's my photo. Yeah, that's me at 3 years old, folks, in 1972.
ooh,
My
that
grandmother
hunk.
gave it to me. I'm going to recreate that photo. I have that same record player in the front. So I'm gonna get that same shirt and shorts and do the whole.
Oh yeah, baby.
Somebody cut the choice and take. Wait, call you back up again. Back to me.
Uh, yeah, because having Lois needs something more on the show to do than just be
Yeah,
hanging around for Brooklyn's wedding. And it seems like they've kind of really dropped the whole like we're scheming to get rid of
yeah,
a deception from Tracy and give it to Maxie ultimately. Like
yeah,
now that Tracy knows what the plan is, there's really no reason to have Lois kind of helping with that. But now having her actually involved with deception, being the home and heart spokesperson is great.
yeah. I think it's great too. Yes, they recasted Aiden. The actor recasted him.
Yeah.
And remember earlier in the week he was. Well, we're assuming he was bullied.
Yeah.
There's a storyline happening there. So I'm assuming. Well, here's my thought, folks. I'm actually hoping this is not a storyline because as part of the alphabet mafia, I think these stories. I mean, I wish they would tell a different story. That's just me, because he is coming out as gay. There are some gay stories that have nothing to do with bullying, and I think almost overused narrative. Yes, it does happen, but not to everyone. There's some schools. My grandchildren went to school with gay folks. It was no big deal. So I just think I'm almost like I don't want a bullying because he's gay storyline. I'm just kind of like it's been overdone. That's just me in 2024. But yes, I know it does happen and stuff, but I always want a different storyline for him. But anyway, I guess we'll see what they have under their sleeve.
Yeah, I mean by anything that we saw this week, I felt like the tease, the possibility of some kind of like a stronger connection between Sasha and Aiden
Yeah.
I mean, if they develop something where he's hanging out there more and becoming friends with Sasha, and then whatever kind of issues are kind of bugging them, maybe it's one of those things like you feel more comfortable talking to like, somebody that's not your family about something.
Yes.
And Sasha's able to be there and kind of help steer him through. Fantastic. I mean, everybody already raves enough about Aiden's baked goods. So,
Yes.
maybe it's like maybe it's a Sasha Aiden collab that makes this
Right.
fantastic thing.
Right. I've This has been such a narrative the whole time that he's a good cook, a good baker, that I could see him becoming a chef or something in the food world. So this would be could be a fun thing. Could be a fun. Plus his brother is a Quartermaine. The whole thing. So he'd be at the house for a reason. So there's some stuff. You want to see Aiden with Tobias. Yeah, he has a boy. He has a boy crush or something. So I rather see that storyline develop. Not so like Lucha said, too cliche. Not just this kind of he's being bullied at school because he's gay and oh my god. And I'm just like I really don't want to see that again. I just think it's just we just do more of just like let's see him navigate a relationship and what does that look like as a teenager and what does that look like. So I mean that's it. But I like those Sasha thing. I like those things. Her becoming a mentor of sorts, and they kind of work out together.
Yeah, because I mean, he has that scene with Liz when she's talking about the backpack, but it was whether it's because this Aiden is so new, at
Right.
least to me on the show, it was tough to get a read in that scene about like,
Yeah.
is he trying to be, like something's really going on, but I'm not going to tell you about it, or it's like, oh no, no, nothing's really going on, you just don't understand what's going on, and it's not a big deal, don't worry about it. So yeah, it was tough to get a read on exactly what angle where he was coming from to realize like, oh yeah, this should be something we should be worried about, or this is actually something that is not what you think it is.
Yes, I agree. And also, I want to give a shout out to all the costume designers and wardrobe people because they're doing a lot better job with Maxie and with Brooklyn. Oh, thank God. But I know that on Bradford and Steve's podcast, Kristen Storm said she was wearing kind of frumpy clothes because she had some health issues for a while. So she needed
Mm.
clothes that were comfortable. But anyway, I'm glad to see that the old Maxie is back.
Yes. Yes, she's looking good. And I mean, I like that, she's, you know, as much as Lucy wants to say like, oh, she will, deception is my baby. I mean, it's really Maxie that they should be thankful that that is there. Uh, and I know we'll get more into that, but I will say as it ties into the Quartermaine stuff, I am thankful that at least Lucy was there and was in on seeing how great Lois was and finally acknowledged like, okay, great. Maybe I'm not the best spokesperson for this, even though I thought I was amazing.
Yeah,
And
when Maxie looked at her and they kind of get, I was like, see, they're moving fast, kids.
yeah,
They're not playing. And having Scott there is kind of funny, but it's just like they're not playing. They're like, okay, now they're back on the same page again. Lois is the one. Like Lois is the one that brought everybody together. That Brooklyn wasn't the one either. But I actually do want to leave the Quartermaine house for a second and go to because this storyline was very interesting. It's related to deception. They focus a lot on dissection, which is really interesting too. They're focusing on that. So that's a major business in the city, right? Natalia, coming through. She had two memorable scenes this week with Maxie and with Alexis.
uh,
I enjoyed both exchanges.
yeah, let's just make Natalia annoying to people week. Is what it was. I mean, I
Yep,
feel like the only one that she's kind of locked into any sort of relationship with has been Sonny.
yep,
And who knows? Because this is not 100% Sunny. This is,
right.
10% Sunny. So who knows if we had a fully functioning Sunny, if those conversations would have gone as well as that too.
Yeah.
But this year with Alexis and Maxie, ooh, yeesh.
I mean, I okay. Let's start with Maxie first because yeah, Maxie was not playing. She was like, "What do you want?" Like the fuck.
Yeah,
And but Maxie was totally. I guess Natalia said some stuff that's legitimate. I think, and maybe her delivery is a little gruff, but just questioning Brooklyn's devotion. And she doesn't know the whole story, right? She doesn't know the whole story of everything, which Maxie does know the whole story. But Maxie did defend her friend, and she defended. She didn't throw her under the bus. She defended her whole time. She kind of stood her ground with Miss what's her name, and Miss Natalia. She stood her ground, and it did. That whole exchange did lead to a very funny scene after that with her and Nina. I did chuckle on that, but we'll get there in a second. I did chuckle on that. Um, but but it was very cool that Maxie was like, no, she does care about this. But I think Natalia, I feel like I'm defending her every week. But I feel like there's as a mother and looking for her child's money, so she wants to make sure someone's being good for her after Link screwed them over. I think she is being a little overprotective on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, she's going into conversations not having the full facts though,
Right.
but and assuming the worst in all situations. And yes, probably colored by Brooklyn's or by Blaze's previous management by Link. Oof, good old Link.
Oh, Link.
And so not knowing about Brooklyn's family medical history with Gregory and why that is this whole wedding is
Yeah.
being accelerated, being slowed, being accelerated again, changing, switching. There are reasons why maybe Brooklyn is not giving 100% to Blaze in terms of attention at this moment, but that is a short-term concern, not a overall yeah. But of course, how would Natalia know all this?
Right.
So
Right.
she's just
So
the worst.
Luther said Taya's walking a fine line. Yeah. Well, see, then we go into the conversation with Alexis. Alexis was like, I ain't having it. She basically walked her out. She was like,
Yeah.
okay, so it was like, she was like, it was nice meeting you, Miss. And she was like, it's time for you to go. Alexis was like, Alexis was a plan. You're not gonna talk about her daughter. She was like, no. But she literally walked that bitch out. She was like, yeah, and that was nice of you to come by.
Yeah.
Once you grab your purse, it's time to go. Because Homegirl walked in and I was like, I'm busy. She was like, I'm busy. I got time for all this. But Natalia did bring up some good points. A couple of good points. If you're trying to hide your daughter's sexuality, then yes, her and Christina going out and just like who's having a baby. But you can always play with it's my friend. We're friends. That's my friend's baby. She's pregnant. Like it's just that she's so worried about her daughter's personal life that it's that's gonna be very interesting. See,
yeah, as you said with Bex, it's always the mother's fault.
that is you have children. You actually have children. Yeah, I got two girls and a boy. No, yeah, two girls and a boy. So then later she goes, "Oh, you'll understand when they get older." Like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. But I just thought that Alexis and her, that was like that. There was a little bit. She was like, "No, I'm not having this today." Thanks. She goes, I got news to do, and I was like, well, you have a paper and a gossip column." She like tried to throw that in her face, like how people like to talk. It was like, and Alexis was like, "We're not doing this."
Yeah.
Over. Like, nah, we're not doing this. Nah, whatever. Nope. And I chuckled on. I did chuckle on that one. But like that's the thing, Luther is Natalia worried about her daughter's personal life, or is she ashamed of her daughter's personal life? I think it's both. Why
Yeah.
should it be one or the other? It could be both. You're
I
worried.
yeah, because I still don't think she is properly processed, accepted,
Right.
understood what that means for Blaze. She's still
Right.
under this is just a phase that she's going through because of what happened with Link. I don't think she's not fully acknowledged and embraced
Yes.
who Blaze is now.
Yes. I have to. I can't. I'm so sorry. I feel like I really feel like I'm always defending the chick all the time, but I just get as a parent, she's just finding this out. This was not. She never told her anything. She's just finding out this side of her daughter. You have to give people grace when they find stuff out. I really believe that. And then, especially people of color, we have a whole. It's hard for anybody, but then also you add the cultural elements and the church elements and the religious stuff. It's just, and so her mother is trying to look out for her, and she knows in this business it's hard enough being a woman in the business, but to be a gay woman in the business, and she's afraid it might be harder. So I think it's a little bit of both, a little bit of embarrassment that her daughter is a lesbian, but also that it may make her harder. So I think both things can be true.
Yeah, and I think it's just, you know, I guess there's where the grace comes in because like how Natalia can have all those concerns, but how you approach others
Oh, yeah.
with those concerns seems to be Natalia's sticking point at the moment because she's
Oh,
just
I'm not saying she's great at it. I'm not saying she's perfect right like that. Not at all. I'm just saying, but in there somewhere, I think that's what's going on. I said the delivery is the harsh part.
yeah.
Um, yeah. But I see when she's with Sonny though, or 10, you call him 10% Sonny, they seem to connect. She can talk about the stuff with him, and it seems to connect with him. Like he's like, I understand that. I went through my, but the chicks are like, no, we ain't doing this.
Yeah.
No, I remember, and Christina's just a bartender. That's when she's like, okay, time for you to go, bitch. She was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, gather your things. Where's your purse? She's like, we gotta go. She said, just a bartender. I was like, dang.
But there's also got to be a little bit of Alexis like kicking herself too, because at one point she felt that same way.
I know, I know. That's the thing. Hi, Will. Hi, Jen. Everybody. No, I know, I agree. But I'm saying that's just life. It's like you do change later. My parents didn't like that I came out. They did not like it at all. Trust me, they didn't. They've come around at some point, but like they didn't like it at first. That was not. I mean, when I told them I was in love with Frank, they understood that. They're like, well, of course we love Frank, so of course we love Frank.
Thank goodness. Thank
But
goodness.
but before that, they didn't. No, just kidding, folks. But the whole point is,
You were
they
just
weren't
kidding?
happy about me. I mean, I'm in love with you. I mean, I love you, of course. I mean, that's just number one. I'm
Thank
just
you.
saying the story didn't happen for real. Like James and Frank, like no, that's not what happened for real. But no, but the thing is, they weren't happy at first either, and some of their choices, how they treated me, was not the greatest either. So I don't know. So I just think it's I just think it's I come from both sides of it as a parent and as a person that did come out. I think it's realistic. I think her reaction is realistic. I think it's very. Disney Flowers said it's similar to Callie's story, who I know is Latina on Grey's Anatomy. So I think I just one of those things. I just think it's sometimes the mother has the hardest time at it. And like you said, Alexis had a hard time. Sonny didn't have a hard time. Alexis had a hard time on it then. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like a mirror moment, but you can grow from it, and you can grow from it and change. So maybe this is her journey. Maybe this is Natalia's journey to go from this to maybe later finally accepting it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you can't expect somebody to be from, to make a complete 180 and be like, oh yeah, everything's great now. No, it's going
Right.
to be some, there'll be some struggles and some challenges, but it's again the tough thing with a character that you don't really see that often, that we're not able to get those kind of shades of gray areas with
Yeah.
her. All we're seeing are those moments of kind of we want to come in the scene and cause a little conflict, and Natalia is our perfect vehicle for this. So we're gonna see her like this. Yeah, I think we see a little bit more of Natalia shades of gray when she's talking with Sonny. They're able to have kind of a back and forth, and Natalia is able to kind of share a little bit more than she's able to do with these scenes that she's had with Maxie and Alexis. But again, we don't see her that often, so we only really get her in those moments. So it's tough. Yeah, I don't know how much the show wants to invest in her, and then how much we're supposed to invest in her as well.
Well, the thing also about Alexis and Christina, they have their own history,
Hmm.
and they've addressed that many times. They've always been combative, where Sonny is always a little more supportive. And Alexis and Christina have gone through lots of stuff. I mean, with her men, with her women, with her this, with her that, whatever it's been, Alexis and Christina have gone through it. She loves her girls and she loves them, but Christina's a true middle child. I'm one of those. Who's always been a little spirited and stuff and outspoken. Um, and so I think this almost relates to that. So I think when you see the tie go back and forth to Sonny, they go to Alexis, then they go to Sonny and talk about stuff. I think it's really interesting because Sonny really has always supported Christina for the most part, and has always kind of been there for her as an ear. She looks up to her dad. Where her and Alexis they kind of push and pull. Mothers and daughters do that sometimes, right? That's just kind of what happens. And so I think it's one of those things where no matter whatever, that's when Christina came to her later after the whole TJ Molly debacle. I think Alexis really is trying to just comfort her and be there for her, but she has concerns.
Oh, yeah.
Alexis at home, she holding in. She got some concerns. Yeah, yeah. Molly is younger than Christina. Yeah, Molly comes from Rick Lansing. Christina was the one night with Sonny. So yes, Molly is younger. So yeah, so I think it's very much. I think Christina's bipolar. Oh, interesting. Okay, that could be. I don't know. Could be it. I don't
Hmm.
know. But the point is, I think Christina's always kind of been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on things. So I think it's always caused her a conflict with her siblings and with her mother. That's just how it's always been.
Yeah. Maybe Alexis should tell Natalia. It's like, Blaze best watch herself because I will run her down.
Yes,
Look at
yes.
my dog.
That's her daughter. Don't be. That's her daughter. Don't be mess
Yeah.
with her. You know. But I think, but the thing is, it's just. I like this kind of story because to me, it's relatable. It hits different levels because she's a Blaze, the homegirl's a star, but also Christina's pregnant with somebody else's kid. Natalia has some issues like with that, all that stuff, and so does Alexis. Actually, deep down, with us, so she's trying to reconcile herself. And she asked Molly, not Molly, she asked her, "Are you starting to think of this child as your own?"
Yeah, I mean, and especially with Blaze and Christina, it's, one thing for Christina to be a surrogate. But like also if Blaze and Christina already were in a, long, like had already been in a relationship for a while and we're like, yes, this is something we're kind of going into. I mean, this was like Blaze and Christina are just kind of really developing as this all is happening. And so it is a bunch of stuff happening at the same time for this. So yeah, I can understand anybody from the outside looking in going like, oh, but you're trying to actually start a relationship, but you're also in the midst of this also giving birth to your sister's baby. It
Yeah,
seems like a lot of stuff happening at one time.
I agree, and so I think and so adding TJ. So if some folks are like getting mad at TJ online, others are agreeing with them. Him. I know it sounds sudden. I know everybody's like, "This is so sudden," but it's sudden because they've changed. They're changing the pace really fast. But he's worried about Sonny. And Rick is not in town. So it was like, what about Rick? Well, Rick's not in town. So he's not a threat to Molly or the baby right now. He's not in town. But Sonny is in town. And even though Sonny helped out TJ when he was a kid and stuff, he's now thinking as a parent. And so I see Christina's side of it. Like, I'm a grown person, what to do. But I see TJ's side. Even though I don't care about TJ and Molly, I have no use for them as a couple. But I get what he's saying and I get what Christina's saying.
I agreed. Yeah, it's again, you know, you want it to be messier on subs because you want to have scenes that are with conflict, but it also feels like it's like, hey, everybody, just take a step back for a second and let's all just kind of talk about this a little more calmly. We both have everybody's got some valid points for sure. Well, let's everybody just is like not going with their best foot forward in these situations at all.
They're not. Now the chat is saying that teaches a little much. He's right, is valid, but he's going about the wrong way. And again, I give grace. I get it to the point where this is scary. It's like they lost a baby a second ago, and they want to make sure this baby is good. But TJ has to realize, and maybe he's not there yet. This baby's going to be the uncle to his child. They're not going to, be. I mean, but I think folks are going, why is everyone coming after Sonny? I was like, well, because again, I said this before, he was kind of neutered the last few years. No one has really dealt with him. So I love that everybody's rethinking their relationship with him. Dante, we'll get to that later. All that stuff. I'm enjoying it. I think it feels natural to me.
Yeah, there's yeah, I guess because it's like this is the first time it's really happening where we're kind of resetting how everybody is going to be thinking about Sunny now on the show. Something that hasn't happened in a super long time about this. So it does seem kind of like, whoa, a 180. I can understand why some
Yeah.
people are kind of feeling a little bit of a whiplash on that.
Yes.
But I think for other fans that have been like, this is a mobster, guys, and everybody's just fine with him. They're like, finally, this is happening.
Uh, let's see. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Garbage and Aaron wrote for thunderstorm. Sorry, girl, about thunderstorms. Um, I see TJ's point. Curtis was shot for just being close to Sonny. Michael was shot because of Sonny. We'll get to the Donna thing in a second. All right. But yes, that means the blinders are coming off. There you go. David said the blinders are coming off, and I think that's what's happening. Everybody was just like, he's a man with a heart of gold. We love him. Oh my god. Oh my god. But now we're seeing. They're not saying they don't love him or care about him. They're just saying he does. He has a whole business that everybody's not talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, same with Ava. So let's go that direction. We can go that direction now from there. Let's go that direction from there. Ava. I'm kind of lucky again. They're tapping into the other side of Ava. You and I have said over the years they don't do anything with it. Like, what's going on? But see, here's the thing. Here's what's so funny. Joy. Here's what's funny. She didn't start like the other thing. She didn't start the tampering with the meds, but she knows about it. So of course, Sonny's going to find out later, and it's going to be a mess. Of course, she's her own worst enemy. Ava has it good, so to speak, in a way. She don't know this, but like she's fucking with it. And now I'll tell you, I'll say something, folks. I don't care how you feel about Laura Wright and all that stuff. I love those scenes with Laura and Sonny and Maurice and Ava and Maura was right there. It was very, very, very interesting. And I love the fact that Carly, who should know him well and was therefore goes, wait a minute. And when she runs to the room, I was like, she sees it. She sees something's off. And I love that she was like, we need to up your dosage, or she doesn't know the dosage side. And Ava's standing there, just standing there, and has a look at her face like, this is kind of messed up. Even she, I think she's thinking that too, but she doesn't want to ruin it because she told everyone it feels good. It feels good the position she's in. There were so many layers to that relationship. That whole scene, I loved it. I just thought that's she. Of course, Carly's been with Sonny a long time. She should be able because they're like Dante's like something's off, and so and so's like something's off, but like no one's going. I mean, Ava figured it out obviously, and now Carly is like no, and she really wanted to help him. I love her tone changed. She's like, because she said, I don't know who you are anymore. Because she came over there. I didn't see this coming either. I'm going to keep Donna.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I was like, oh. So I was thinking, yeah, why is she over there? But her and Ava first. I mean, before that, her and Ava.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what was great at the beginning of the week was we finally got to hear a little bit more of how Ava's thinking in her head.
Yes.
That scene with Nicholas. I thought that was great. We needed to
Yeah.
be able to have somebody that Ava could talk to, uh, that she could start sharing what's going on in her head just to help us too, going like, all right, where are you coming from? And it seemed a lot of it kind of tracked how we were thinking, where it's like she's just not romantically interested, but loving being on the inside and not having to worry about, what the ups and downs of Avery and, what that relationship is like. Uh, so
Uh,
yeah,
Frank last week, I guess is right. I guess you're writing for the show, Frank Moran, because you said it last week. I want to know Ava's position. You said, I want to know more. And this week, Shazam, they gave us more. I'm like, okay, Frank. Okay, are you just phoning this? So you're like, okay, Frank Valentine is Frank Moran. Give me what I want. Because they did. It's like Ava said, because Nicholas, Adam Huss was back for a day. Great.
a great usage of him too, because it's somebody that Ava can confide in. That is, it's not going to be somebody on the main canvas that it's not going to start leaking around everywhere. He's an isolated person that she can just unload on, which is great.
Now, Luther is saying, I thought Ava admitting her machinations there were machinations, first of all, to Nicholas was out of character. Why would she trust him? He could turn around and tell his mother everything. What does that have to do with his mother? Her and Sonny, don't do with Laura. I sure don't care about it. I mean, I don't care about that. It's like, I mean, her position is like very clear. And her and Nicholas, they've always talked. Remember, they always did talk. They did a lot of talking over the years. And he's in jail. He's going away. She feels bad a little bit. It was kind of fun. It was some fun scenes with them. It was kind of like I don't know if she trust about trust or anything. It's just more like I can tell him everything. Who cares? Like, who
Yeah.
cares?
Because I think they both appreciate it. They know each are schemers.
Yeah, they're
They
schemers.
all are playing, they all have some angle on something. And so,
Yes.
the unfortunate things that happen in their own relationship that kind of led to that falling apart
Yes.
aside, they
Yes.
still know, yeah, they
Yes.
still know that side of that person.
Yes. And but she but Ava said it. It feels good to not be on the outside, to be attacked, to be any. It felt. She's like she let us know when she let, which I keep trying to tell you guys. Good soap operas when they let the audience know a little bit. That goes a long way. It gives us a chance to see the motivation. Sometimes we don't know what the motivations are, so it gives little tease with Nicholas and with Luther lecture thing. Schemers. I love that description. They are the schemers. And then with Laura later, not Laura. Let's Laura Wright with Carly later. She was putting her flag down on the moon and saying like, "I'm here. I'm basically the woman of the house." And he goes, do I have to listen to her whenever she comes in? Like when she was like talking to Sonny, and because Sonny was like, he came in, he slammed the door, like, what the F you here for? Um, but Ava was like standing there. She's just like, I'm here, bitches. And I'm woman number one. And she knows when it comes to mother his children, he will do a little extra for them. So that's why Nina was bye-bye. She's like, you don't have kids with them, so bye-bye. So she's like, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah, it's like you were saying, James. I don't. As viewers, if you know at least where a character is coming from, it takes away the need to like, why are this person acting like this? I don't understand these scenes. Like having that knowledge of what's going on in their head, even if the other characters don't, makes those scenes you understand them more. You're more accepting of them. You're more interested. If because then it becomes more like what's going to be Ava's breaking point where she finally has to confess rather than like what is going on with Ava? I don't understand these scenes. Can somebody just tell me why Ava's acting like this? You don't have to worry about that anymore. We know exactly why Ava's doing it, and now it's just like what's going to be the thing that finally makes Ava say, "Oops, yeah, Sonny, your meds are me."
Right. I know what it is because she's not telling right now. She is staking her claim in that house. And but I said, once all that went down, I
See,
love the. Oh, go ahead. Go
oh
ahead.
yeah, but it's like for Ava, I don't know how you feel about this. It's like I feel like Ava's misjudging this because yes, she's got her history of tampering with meds, but if she were the one to come to Sonny with this, even though Sonny would start getting more mentally clear, more like the Sonny of old, the fact that I think Ava would still be in a good spot because she's the one that brought this to Sonny. That loyalty, that thing of you're always looking out for Sonny, you're giving him information that's helpful to him, I think would save her as opposed to coming out after the fact. Once everything's out, and then Ava says, "Oh well, I've known about this all along," is going to be much worse for her. So I feel like I think she would still be in a good spot if she came to Sonny now and told him.
I did too, but she's not doing it.
Yeah.
She's keeping him at half mast, so to speak. And I don't know what that's. It's like it's gonna be back. It's gonna be back to that whole thing of Morgan. She wasn't she wasn't the one who started it, but she contributed. So that's
Yeah.
one way. That's one way of keeping Ava still halfway decent too, because she didn't start it. She just kept it a secret. She found out. That's still bad, but that's just she's not. She didn't do the meds. So it's like that's what it is. Danny Flowers says no, Frank. It's too late to confess.
I don't think it's too late to confess at all. I mean, Ava can spin it. She doesn't need to know the exact timeline to Sunny. Sunny has no idea. So Ava could come by anytime and say, like, this is gonna be weird. Hear me out. But I had trouble sleeping, so I took one of your pills and it didn't work. She doesn't need to say, like, oh, this happened weeks and weeks ago that this happened. She can make it just seem like this happened just recently. So I think she could still there's still room for her to make a play for that if she wanted to. But I feel like the moment somebody else figures it out, she's done. There's no way that she can come forward and say like, "Oh, I knew about this the whole time." She's gonna have to then just be quiet until that comes out because yeah, Sonny will not not like the fact that Ava knew about this for however long and didn't say a word.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be. It'll be a betrayal. It'll be a betrayal. It won't matter. It's for him. It'll be a betrayal. We're gonna move on to the next thing because we'll be here 10 hours a day talking this and that other stuff. Um, we also got. Um, oh yeah, Jason did also ask about the meds too. You're right. Jason did ask about, are you taking your meds? He did ask that. So these are folks who know him. These are folks who know him. That makes sense. But I just love that Carly was actually, she went even further along with it. It was like, check the bottles. I just like that.
You were just hoping that she was going to walk out with that bottle,
I
or at
know.
least even a pill. Like I am taking one pill with me, and I'm going to go get it checked.
I know.
Oh, but she didn't.
I
So,
know. I know.
and interesting though with Dante that
Okay, yes, let's go to him. Let's go to him. It's next.
yeah,
Yeah.
where like he is seeing something's off, but I feel like he's taking the wrong, at least in this moment, is taking the wrong thing from it, where he's questioning whether he should be a cop, rather than like something's really off about my dad, which was interesting.
So what's going on there, folks? Is he leaving the cop hood? When they're making changes, again, we don't know what the end game is yet because these are new writers. So this is new, but it just feels like, wow, are we gonna have an exchange where Dex takes his place and like I don't like what's going on there?
Yeah, does Dante go into the business with Sam and they become the private detective couple?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I thought it was interesting. You're right. It was like he's blaming himself. I supposed to do my right job. I'm like, where is that coming from? What's going on?
Yeah, it's like because I don't know, it just seemed like Sonny was just off enough that, and the way that they were showing his reaction to that, it's like, come on, Dante, you realize your dad is acting a little off, right?
Yes.
No.
I mean,
Instead,
those boxing gloves were nice.
oh yeah, but okay. Instead, we find him out there on the balcony, like, I think I've crossed that line between a cop and a son.
See, they're all question. Everybody's questioning they just. I think this is what the writers want. They're just like let's just like disseminate. I guess who's gonna be the cops, who's gonna be fighting, who's gonna be like. He's walked this line for 10, 15, 20 years, but suddenly they're talking about it. So I'm like, I kind of like that. Again, they didn't talk about it before. They didn't talk about
Yeah.
it.
I mean, admittedly, it would have to be tough if your dad was the
Right.
major crime boss in a city and you're, a police officer. Yeah, for him to say like, my job is to take down people like this. So why haven't I yet? Which just addresses to the whole show. It's like, yes, the show can how it is previously spent on the show. The PCPD can only be competent to a point, because if they were completely competent, Sonny would be arrested,
Right.
and
Right.
there goes, Maurice Bernard. So, Sonny as the hero of the show in the past,
Right.
kind of gets that get out of jail free, and you do that by making the PCPD not as effective as they could be.
Then he flat 40 says people thinking about career changes is a theme. It is. But I think that's what the writers are trying to do. They're trying to reposition everybody and to be better roles. Again, I to trust they have something good to say and a story to tell that are placing folks in places to tell that story. I'm hoping that's what it is. Um, because I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know anything for the story. Nothing. I'm watching like you guys, just watching, going, "Oh, this is happening now. Oh, that's happening now." I have no idea.
because I mean, at least the changes that they've made are not so weird or so egregious. Egregious, like Sasha being a chef, yes, odd, but it's not as if we were spending tons of time with her at Deception and her modeling career either, other than her getting hooked on drugs that she did for a little while. But other than that, I mean, the most thing that we had seen recently was her and Cody, sorry, with the alpacas and stuff. That was it, really.
Right. I never this. Um, so speaking of, so we have that going on. Stepsister Joss, and we go back to our favorite area. I mentioned it last week, and there they were by those chain link that famous bench under a tree.
Oh,
chain
There
link
you go.
fence.
Getting active, doing a nice run in to that.
Like
Yeah.
they're running it. Her and Trina and Joss and Dex, of course. That whole episode where he's getting dressed in the cup, and all this stuff. Um, do we like that Dex is becoming a police officer? Would it make his character more interesting?
It would, it's uh well, I mean, because otherwise, what else is he going to do? I mean,
Right.
he's, going to be, we've already got like a Jason-esque thing. And so I think like even at the moment, even though Sonny and Jason are kind of contentious, I feel like at some point things will be revealed and things will kind of shift back into an older paradigm. And is at that point is a Dex really necessary for that? So
So, Luther, those shots are on the Prospect Studios lot. I don't know exactly where, but it's like towards a corner of the lot because before they've shown from away from the tree, it's Los Angeles. There's like palm trees and shit all right there. So it's on their lot somewhere. I've never been there to actual space, but it's on there. Oh yes, and I guess I have to mention this, folks. I haven't talked about it yet. Nicholas Chavez. You see his response. He
mhm.
responded to folks who were asking a very, very well crafted response. I'm sure he had help with it. I'm sure that's what a good publicist would do. And there you go. He didn't say he wasn't coming back. He didn't say he was coming back, but he wanted to thank you all for the opportunity.
Yeah. Uh yeah. I
Hey,
mean, I feel like that's a polite way of saying it, I mean, there's no reason to be like, oh, I'm done now with this show and I'm on bigger, better things.
right,
There's no reason to do that. Like any smart person, you never want to burn any bridges as you leave a place of former employ. One, because why be like that? But then also, you never
right,
know what the future holds. You
right.
know, many soap actors have tried to, leave the show and try other things, which they should. Uh, but it's always nice to have a safe landing pad that if things don't really go as well as you'd hoped outside the show, that you have someplace you could come back to.
Yes. Now Ethel thinks Nicholas' response was on the cold side. Well, Ethel, I didn't feel that, but I know that a lot of fans actually accepted his response. I was reading the Sprina fans. A lot of them are still supporting him, and they knew he wasn't coming back. Like I have a feeling he's not coming back. So that's just me. I've been told some stuff, and I think he is. But I didn't find it cold. I thought it was a nice tempered response because Ethel, think about it for a second, he'll be damned if he didn't, damned if he did. I mean, he has to be really careful with his response because he could say something. There's an everybody up in arms. Oh my God, he's so ungrateful. He says like that, or say something super. I mean, he had to be really careful what he had to say. He had to be really careful with that. I felt someone helped him probably with that, and to me, it was very classy and it was very. So, folks, I'll read it to you. It's very quick. Just so folks who didn't see it, because not everybody's online. Um, Nicholas Chavez says, and I quote, I'm so appreciative of the opportunity that General Hospital gave me, and I wouldn't be as busy as I am professionally if it weren't for the talented producers, writers, directors, and fellow actors. Frank Valentini is a mentor and a friend, and we've had some pretty extensive conversations about my future on the show. While there are no current plans for me to return, we are still talking very openly about future possibilities for Spencer and Port Charles. Beyond the people I've already mentioned, I want to take time to thank and honor GH fan base, especially the Sprina fans, very smart, who must be the most loyal and kind fan base in the universe of entertainment. Words fail to show the depth of my gratitude. Thank you. I love you all very, very much. I think that was fine. I
Yeah.
think that was a great, to me, trust me, that was a classy response and non-threatening, not anything. It was fine, Frank. I think it was fine. I think it was a fine response.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I, it, I who knows? I mean, there can be a variety of different reasons why he may have decided he did not want to come back after he finished up his Menendez miniseries. You know, whether he
Yes.
was like, whether he was like, well, I feel like I've done all I could do on the show, or maybe the show currently where it's at, they don't need me right now. So, yeah, or man, who knows? But I,
See, now we have a viewer who says his statement is giving viewers false hope. My thing is, he might be telling you the truth. Maybe they are. Maybe he will come back for a quick stint later. It happens all the time. A limited stint. Maybe they had. He said we've had open conversations. That we've had extensive conversations. That's probably true. I feel like I'm sure Frank Valentini did not want to lose Nicholas Chavez. I'm sure he didn't want to. This thing is it's bigger than that. So like, and so I'm sure that this was again. I say this was probably scripted on some level. Somebody sat down and wrote it with him. But I think he probably did talk. He's letting you know I did talk to Frank extensively. Who knows? So there is kind of hope in there somewhere. I mean, 'cause it could happen. We know it could happen.
yeah, I mean, there's always going to be room for on a soap for characters of great talent and actors of great talent to be able to help them tell their stories. I mean, we saw like Roger Hallworth. I mean, a great actor as well, but had been suffering with a lack of really good material.
Right.
I'm not saying that's the same thing with Spencer. I mean, certainly there was real estate there to mine, I guess, with his cast iron connections, his Laura, his family connections,
Yeah.
his relationship with Trina, uh, you know, or who know, I'm sure there's some truth in there, where it's like maybe he wanted to go try some stuff, you know, and the show would be open for one. Like, who wouldn't want to have him come back if he was interested?
Yes. I mean, the thing is, we'll have to see how the show does. What kind of response the audience gives, what kind of ratings it gets, and that'll determine if he's back or not. I think, and maybe not. Maybe he may get another role after this, and may just continue to keep going. But I like the fact that he was thanking the fans, and he was not saying definitively, "I'm not back." He's not saying that definitively.
No, I mean, he could be somebody that's like Evan Peters, who
Yep,
did the Jeffrey Dahmer one, where he gets more into that Ryan Murphy universe, and he's used for other stuff that Ryan Murphy's working on. Maybe he becomes one of his kind of day player, so to speak, or part of
yes,
the ensemble. Or maybe if he gets any nominations for Emmy or Golden Globe, who
right.
knows what that does for him for other projects where people want to reach out to him as well too.
It's real estate. Yes, he's building his real estate. So that's basically what's happening. We don't know. And it has been no word on a Spencer recast, nothing, and I don't think there won't be a word on it anytime soon. And right now, they're not focusing on Spencer right now. We don't know what they're going to do. But I agree it shouldn't sideline Trina. But seeing her other people has been kind of cool. Seeing her other people over the last couple of weeks. So, but her and Josh are best friends, and they're going for a run. They had an honest talk about each other's relationships, how they feel, and she can't grieve forever. So they're gonna do something.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Trina, at least they had Trina acknowledging, like, yeah, I don't want to keep feeling this because I think, I've been tired of the Trina, like, what am I gonna do? Life is for living. Uh, and the last thing for Nicholas Chavez, it's like any job can become like golden handcuffs to you if you allow it to be. So where it becomes like a safe, comfortable spot where you just like, well, I've got this job and it seems to be going well and they like me, so I'll just stay here. And then 15 years go by and you're like, oh, why didn't I ever take the chance to do something back then? Why now I'm here and it's frustrating me. What could have been?
Yeah.
You always got to appreciate for somebody anybody that's got the courage to gamble on themselves. Is
Yes.
like, I think I have something to offer and I'm going to go find out what it is. It's great. And all you can ask is that treat everybody with kindness and don't close any doors. And, I think you can explore and try and then have a place that you could come back to if things aren't going the way that you'd hoped.
I agree. I think I love X-Men on Disney Plus. Yeah, thank you. They're asking where Adam is. He's on the show right now. So I don't know what he's doing. This is sad. Both teams lost their boyfriends. Yes, that's kind of crazy. Now, folks are torn, not mostly torn, but mostly not torn about Trina becoming a nanny, possibly. A little Ace.
I I don't know. I mean, the idea does not intrigue me that much,
Yeah, me either.
you know, because again, but it also could be one of those things where it's just name checked,
Yeah,
where it's like, oh yeah, I'm also doing this on the side too, and we never see it.
yeah,
Uh, unless it's going to really help, uh, whether it's like a Laura and Trina thing or a Kevin and Trina thing, whether it's going to open up a possibility for an adult relationship
that's
and some scenes out of there. Otherwise, sure, she could be doing that and we would never see it. So it really wouldn't impact anything.
yeah. I don't. I mean, I don't. Because Joss is now saying I don't want to be a doctor.
I mean, I can understand like her reasoning or where it kind of
Yeah,
tracked. Where I did this because I saved Dex and I felt helpless when he was shot. So it does track why Jocelyn wanted to get into that.
I agree.
Where it's also tied into that emotionality of somebody that you like. I mean, Cam was yes, I probably Jocelyn's first like quasi adult type of love. Like
Yeah,
her and Cam had their thing too, but it was very much we grew up together. It was kind of you know, like a first love union, and not to discount Cam at all to
yeah,
Jocelyn, but there's difference in the way that Jocelyn felt about Cam as opposed to the way that Jocelyn felt about Dex. And I
yeah,
can see where you make some choices in your life based on love in your life. And maybe like if that has kind of gone away, where you're then questioning like, oh, was this the smartest choice that I could have made? Or does this make sense now? I kind of lost the reason why I'm doing this now. So I can understand Jocelyn questioning whether med school is the thing for her.
and Trina brought up her status. I don't know what she's going to do though, but she brought up college. Now she's behind also.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're not. All we're gonna see this summer is people hanging out at the MetroCore pool. We're not gonna see Trina at summer school in classes. We're not gonna see some classroom set built. So that's not gonna happen. Yeah. So I
Get
mean,
ready, folks, for the pool set. It's coming. It's coming. Frank paid a lot for that pool set.
yeah, we're gonna get your money's worth on that one.
That's right, good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, we could also say that Trina did go to school over the summer and she's back on track. Yeah. What? But we never have to see any of that. Just
Right.
her name check it like, oh, I'm doing these night classes, or at the end of the summer, like, you wouldn't believe it. I did all these night classes off camera. You never even saw them, but now I'm all back and I'm fine. And it's
Mm-hmm.
PCU in the fall. Me and Josh, living together.
What I would like, like you said before, I don't mind Trina and Josh living together. Best friends. They said this week. We're friends. They're friends. They're close. So folks don't like their friendship. They're not breaking them up. They are close. They are friends. But I do understand the concern about Trina being backburnered. I do understand. So I get it. I get it. They're afraid she's going to be backburnered. So I don't know. I mean, again, this is all still this has been it's been a month now of the new writing, but it's still mixed in with the old writing. They're still trying to come out of it. So they can only do so much at a time.
And I feel like at some point, like if you'll be able to see everybody within like the next month or so that we see during the hot summer, we see some young heartthrob just introduced, then you can kind of get a feeling that all right, we're setting up something for the next step for Trina. So far, we don't have that young person on the canvas yet.
Right.
Uh, but I feel like it's gonna happen, and and then you'll be able to see what's next for Trina.
Do this all half naked bodies at the Metro Court. I'm here for it. Yes. Since Sasha gave up her apartment, who's going to get that set? They might tear it down and change the set.
It would be great if that just becomes Trina and Joss's new place.
Why not, kids?
Yeah.
But also, if they leave the dorms, buy to that set.
Yeah, and it's not that there was too much in Jocelyn's side. I mean, yes, there was that kind of like kitchen island in there,
Yes.
but enough of the bare bones of that structure that you could take out a few things
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and easily switch it over to another set.
They brought back the other set with the back room at Crystal's Coffee. Oh, Jason has a set, of course.
Oh, there you go, my office.
His office has his office. It has that. Um, and Valentine. Anna. Seeing them together makes me sad because I like them together so much. But I think she's on to him.
Yeah, I mean, where she's trying to, run the con of like, I'll go to dinner with you now because I know
Right,
you're up to something.
right.
It,
But I think he really likes Anna. That's the whole thing. I mean,
it is interesting to me. Uh, and it's different levels, but the relationship that Anna has with Jason as to the relationship that Anna has with Sonny,
mm,
where Anna, for whatever feels, I mean, Jason is Sonny's right hand man, so
right,
you can't just talk about Sonny with all this stuff and not also think those same things about Jason. If you're thinking that, because it's like, yes, he was right there by Sonny's side the whole time for this. So Jason does not get a get out of jail free card for all of this.
right.
His situation currently is different because he is an FBI informant, so to speak. So, uh, but Anna seems much more comfortable talking with Jason about all this stuff than she does feel now, how she feels now about Sonny and how she wants him to pay.
Yeah. And I know everyone is having their moment about that. But I just want to tell you, to me, it's making sense. We're getting back to Sonny, the mob boss. I think what they're trying to do. Sonny, the disruptor. Sonny, the rule breaker. Sonny, they're all starting to feel that now collectively. So it seems like a lot because it's happening. Again, it's happening faster. I love it. They're not taking their. They're just like, here we go. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's fine. I love it. I want to see what happens. I think Sonny should be questioned. I think Sonny should be looked at a certain way. I think they all did get soft. I mean, that's just what happened. Because maybe that's how the writers wrote it. They almost forgot that, I said some of our villains or anti-heroes, wherever they are, they didn't write them two-dimensional anymore. He was busy. He was Smike for all those out of the year and a half, whatever, and they came back as Sonny, and I'm like, they, you know, I think it's fine. So I'm okay with this because I want to see where this goes. But with Anna and Valentine, there's all kinds of issues going on there. But I think it's gonna be a cat and mouse game kind of thing.
Yeah, and even Jagger coming in on that meeting with with Jason and Anna going like, "Hey, shouldn't there be a third person in this meetings
Yes,
like
I
this?
know.
Like, isn't that me? Why
Yes,
am I
that's
not
funny.
here right now while you guys are talking about all this?"
Yeah, that's funny.
Uh,
Um,
and I did like the scenes of like Jason and Dex. We had a little
yep,
quick chat there. Great.
that's a
Uh,
trip. Yes,
yeah, and then uh yeah, and I do like Jason and Anna. We're not neither of them are trying to run a game. They're at least sharing information about all this stuff too. So nobody's trying to work an angle with at least with them,
great
which is
unique. Yeah, yeah. I know. I don't know. I know a lot of folks are speculating a lot of stuff. I'm not speculating anything. I'm like, these are new writers. I have no idea what they're going to do. I'm very excited to see what happens. I'm like, all of a sudden, Charlotte's and Bodhi's go. That's the whole thing, folks. The new writers came in. It's going to be very jarring. Like Frank said earlier, it's just kind of jarring. But they're really trying to replace. They're trying to make a new start. So I think that's what it is. So they're like, she's over there for right now. We'll keep that kid on. That's going to. They're trying. I think they're trying to really set everything to chess pieces. They're trying to set everything up, and so some things will come across harsh and sudden. It'll come across sudden, but I'm forgiving it because it's a new writing regime, and I think they want to try and change the soap as fast as they can, so to speak. I'm down for that.
yeah.
The
I
soap
mean,
was
and it
always watchable back in the day.
yeah, and it seems like they're making these moves because even if we can't see it yet, they have some sort of reason why they would want these people in these different spots. And so I think that they've shown that they're faster with the pacing, so that even if we don't know the reasons why now, I think we can feel confident that we will know about them soon enough to be understand like, oh, now I get why this person's there, and this
Yeah,
makes sense, and I'm interested in what they're doing here. And it won't be, I think we can all be honest and say like, yeah, there will be stuff even with this new writing team that we're still not going to gel with. And some of the choices that they are making, even I, while I will credit them trying, may ultimately be like, that really wasn't as
Right.
great. But you're not gonna get 100% out of any writing team on this
Yeah.
show.
Right. Right. So I'm like, okay, like I said, we're gonna watch and see how they continue to do this. Again, I just think the pacing's better. We're seeing people who don't normally get together. People are there's longer scenes but quicker returns. Surprises like a Nicholas all of a sudden. Um, I'm liking it so far. I don't know. I'm just like they're trying to position. It's like a chess game. They're repositioning everybody in the
Yeah.
spots because Alexis is about to go to court to have her hearing. I'd love to see her back as a lawyer. Having Connie back at Metro Court does seem normal. It seems like it's back to normal. It does.
Uh,
And Homegirl like Crimson, it just seems really normal.
and then we have Curtis now as as the
Oh, there's that storyline. I have a problem with myself, but I'm just like I don't even understand. I'm like,
the conversation between him and Portia, where she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you." It's like, hold on, he's not going anywhere. Sure, there might be some travel involved, but it's he's gone for like months and months at a time. He's gone for a week maybe on a business trip.
right,
That's fine.
right,
Good
right.
Lord. Good Lord, Portia.
Yes.
I'm gonna miss you being in a wheelchair and having to, me wait on you. You couldn't do things without me there. Great.
You know. That also, I mean, it's just I was in a Twitter Spaces the other day just listening. I didn't say nothing. They had me laugh about Curtis. Like Curtis had a cane one day, and I just walking normal, and I'm like I just started laughing. I said, on soaps and TV, everything's truncated. It's like it's all just really quick. It's like you can't be in a cane forever. It's like,
No, no, no.
they're not gonna do that.
I mean, not unless there was some other reason for this,
Right, right,
but yeah, ordinarily, nor audiences don't have the patience
no,
to do that unless the soap is like deliberately saying like, no, 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 we're taking you through this real time for whatever it might be, whether somebody's illness, somebody's physical condition, or something. Um,
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, we're not gonna be able to do that. But all right, I know we've been chatting a while, but that's the Nina and Drew of it
yes.
because we're bringing in Curtis. Like even the scene of like Nina coming in and just saying like, "Don't trust Drew. You don't know what's going." Like, why is just the way they write Nina is just bonkers, bonkers to
Uh,
me.
you saw Kirsten looking at him like
Yeah.
he just sat there like, what's going? He's like, it's time. It was time for him to go too. He's like, time for me to go. I don't know what's going on here. He's like, I gotta go. He's like, you guys be okay with each other. He's like, I gotta go. But first, you guys be okay, like calm it down a little bit. Um, yeah, because he's like, well, Curtis is my friend. Curtis is my friend too. Should they fight it out? Because like, Curtis, who's a closer friend to Curtis? I mean, like Curtis is my friend. Curtis is my friend. Curtis. I like the messiness of Nina and Drew. Love it. I love it.
Oh.